Suzuki-san. Um, there's a scene in Back to the Future 2 when Marty McFly is talking to his boss over a video call, and I'm trying to think of his name, but did you know that most Japanese companies, a lot of the big ones, are like hundreds of years old, like centuries old, and they got a stock market? I found their secret chat rooms, but where they talk about big industrial companies like Mitsubishi or Kawasaki. So in 2 weeks I haven't had any coffee and I haven't made any videos. I'm just grinding the coffee beans. What I read online is that there's only caffeine like on the outside of the bean, and caffeine is sort of like a natural pesticide. Caffeine is a natural pesticide, and so whatever effects it gives us, Oh no, I just dropped some of it. What am I doing? I don't know if I can do all this. I shouldn't have recorded a video, but where's my coffee cup? I hope that's good enough. I had a coffee cup. Is it outside? Oh no, it's outside. Damn. Failed my vlogs. Basically, 2 weeks ago I had the idea to make a Risk the board game plus Twisted Metal video game, and it would be fun. I was thinking maybe I could even add trains. I guess I'll go upstairs and show that where I got the idea. But also there's I think it's Trevor Moore, not Trevor Noah, the comedian from sketch comedy show about like a gunfight happening between buildings, kind of like happens in Max Payne 2 in Hoboken, New Jersey. What I'm talking about is in Max Payne 3, it's Max Payne 2 I'm talking about. Max Payne 3 multiplayer, there's Hoboken, New Jersey was one of the battlefields, kind of like old World War II games, Allied assault, building to building battles in the Hoboken tenements. They're like the cheapest places to live. Long story short, that's actually kind of from Max Payne 2 multiplayer. And this is just what my battle station is. I mean, I guess none of it's set up right now, but I put an SSD in this that has 128 gigabytes, not enough to have GTA plus the operating system. So I have to have the game stored externally, and then the SSD makes it run like butter or something, like a real gaming computer. I have so I played through Max Payne 1, Max Payne 2, and then I kind of moved on to Max Payne 3, but this is Made Man. And what's funny is it's so clearly based on the Max Payne engine. And what's not as clear is the Max Payne engine, Take-Two, Rockstar Games, is actually from the Die Hard Trilogy engine from PlayStation 1. Just reskinned, it looks a bit different, but everything about this, from the loading screens, the pause screen, every little thing about this game is just a slightly altered version of Max Payne, and it's good. This disc thing, it showed a spinning disc, but man, everything, it's even divided into chapters. I mean, everything about it, it's just a better version of Max Payne. And what? That's GTA. I'm going to have 2 GTAs. I stream on Steam on this Lenovo laptop. Very inexpensive. This was like $100 on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Busted old controller that didn't even last a year. That came with the official Xbox. I don't even use the Xbox anymore. I don't even know I have it. I'm finally utilizing this desk. That's a PlayStation 3 in the back. Although I don't need it, but such a long story. Ow. Just stubbed my toe a bit. So I have 3 PlayStation controllers and Replay Chapter. North Carolina, a little business. What's happening? Do I gotta load again? The heist at the stadium here is kind of like in Max Payne 3, the stadium setting or scene, chapter, whatever it's called. One of my favorite games called Zombie Defense or something on PC. You know, they make these games for phones. They're like 300 megabytes and they're full featured games. One's a pirate game, one's a space game, one's a zombie game, one's a World War II fighter pilot game. And I really wanted the design engine of it. So is this, I don't know what, I'm not going to play the game now, but everything about it is Max Payne. Same crouch. Even he even looks like Max Payne. Maybe not him, but some other guys do. Same everything. And it's actually very similar, the physics system, to Half-Life. I'm just trying to go back to the, like chipping away to the origin. Where's this game engine originally from? All that I'm using is a StarCraft engine to make a Risk plus Twisted Metal video game. Okay, and it's just fun to talk about. For 2 weeks I've been thinking about it. How fun it would be. I could do anything, just like, in video game design. Anything is possible. I mean, so... the other idea was to make the Trevor Moore sketch into a game of these like companies having like gunfights in skyscrapers, whatever. I don't know what, like a match in Twisted Metal. But around this time last year, I was watching the movie Joe Dirt because I don't know. I think I saw the car that looked like it, the Superbird in GTA. It was a really rare car. It wasn't a Superbird. I don't remember what car it is at the moment. But I watched Joe Dirt and I was like, wow, why did I never watch this movie before? It's so pertinent to my life. And then one of the songs on the soundtrack was Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, Bob Seger System. So for 2 weeks or so, I was listening to that song on repeat over and over. I was in here one night listening to it and pretending to throw punches in every direction, and I threw my arm out. I started to tell a story last year in a blog, but I had to do so much medical research on tennis elbow. I found a book from the 1800s where it originates, the term, and it's from a German book called Mein Cramp. Like, I have an arm cramp that won't go away. It's finally starting to go away. I hope and pray that it will. But very similar to, I had turf toe in my early 20s that affected my whole physiology and psychology. I didn't realize that I would never stretch my feet ever for no reason. Like, I wouldn't bend them a little bit. It was like completely straight. Maybe to do this if I'm driving a car, my feet would be like this. But never like that. Not even once. And a similar thing happened for about a year. I had to uncondition myself to be able to rest my arm and stretch it this way. But the videos I was saying was, with tennis elbow, it's like the tendons rip one by one on a micro scale. And eventually it just completely tears everything. And I'm like, I can't even stretch anything. Now I've been stretching my chest muscles. You know what I mean? Because it's been cramped for so long, for a year. I haven't been able to do push-ups. I used to do push-ups every day. Stuff similar to pull-ups, and I basically just hang. I don't know how to show this, but I hang one arm on each door and just hang like that, or hang like from a chin-up bar that I have in the other room. But yeah, I was going nuts about a year ago listening to that Ramblin' Gambling Man song. Around the same time I discovered House of Pain's Fed Up. In my opinion, at least as of now, I think they have two good songs: Jump Around, House of Pain, and then Fed Up. And at the opening second of the music video, guys changing the dial on a radio, and it goes ban da da da, just ban da da da. That's it, like a half a millisecond, and it's the song. I had to ask someone because you can't Google it. What's this song that goes ban da 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 ban da 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 da? Da 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 da. And it's the Allman Brothers' Ramblin' Man. So I kind of presume that because of the themes of Fed Up, House of Pain, and that it features Allman Brothers' Ramblin' Man, it's a reference to Ramblin' Gamblin' Man of Bob Seger System, the best song. It doesn't even have a guitar in it. Kind of like the first rap song in a way. My old sleeping quarters. Wish I had one of these big boxes to block out the whole window, but it's close enough. Here's the chin-up bar thing so I can stretch my arm. But another thing was I kind of had to upgrade from my old S5 to the S20. Made a big leap. And I learned from Andrew Dice Clay filming. Like, I had to study and research because he doesn't show. But he flips his phones like this. Wait, I have to be in two mirrors. I can't do it. But he flips his phone back and forth like this. You can't see. But it simulates a stretch. So because this phone is so much larger than my S5, it's strained my arm. That's one of the other reasons that I have a tennis elbow from my cell phone. Also, the Xbox game controller is so much more garbage than a PlayStation controller, maybe due to copyright design issues. I don't know what. Found a guy complaining about it. Same thing. Age 35, age 36 precisely is when this happens. Using an Xbox controller just so happened to be when I got my first Xbox last year. Long story. But, yep. And I guess that's all. I'm going to try to design those two games. My one video that started taking off in 2008, the first one that was allowed up, like, I wouldn't have a video without copyright and music. It just had to have a $1 billion soundtrack. Video games aren't cool enough without the songs to go with them. But if I could just go back to my roots of classic StarCraft, showing game design. There's so many millions of people that can't even understand the concept of game design because they've never had the tools, the developer tools, to say, oh, this game can be better in such and such way. It's just kind of like engineering. Also, a Mad Magazine parody version, kind of like parody video, Mad TV, of only video games. There's a game called Hell Divers that everybody talks about. So I would call it Hellraiser or some stupid parody of it, and, making fun of it. Maybe using AI-generated images. I'm not good in 3D. I use classic old vintage 2D, like StarCraft 1 for game design. So that's not to say that I can't, or we don't actually recreate this stuff. Call of Duty games, any game, SimCity, Resident Evil, any game, we recreate it in StarCraft. So we're familiar with it. We're familiar with the controls. We're familiar with all the units and all the everything. From Max Payne 1 to 2, just the few controller changes is the built-in obsolescence. That's all a video game needs. Battlefield series has quite a few things to get people to not play it after a few years. before they have to manually shut down the servers in case people just won't leave. In our case of Bad Company. But yeah, I could recreate Bad Company in StarCraft. It's just something I really want to do. I don't know why I don't. Especially considering it's the only thing I got attention for on YouTube. 2008 or so. There was stuff before that. It's just my channels used to get deleted for copyright violations, but that's all.